because let's be honest, Thanksgiving is just really like oven Tetris. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. We're a couple weeks out from Thanksgiving, so it is time to get planning. It is my 4th year hosting, and let me tell you, I wish I had a video like this my first go around, because I don't want to say it was a complete disaster because all my guests left happy and they all enjoyed the food, but I personally was super stressed out the entire day and just did not enjoy myself. So today I'm going to share some tips and tricks that I learned over the years with you guys, and then we are doing the dang thing and planning out my entire Thanksgiving. So big old tip number 1 is to plan ahead. I will go ahead and start with your guest list so you know how many people are coming, and this is a good time to check if anyone has allergies or any intolerances that you need to plan around. Once you know your guest list, it's time to get going on that menu and gather all of your recipes up. Once you have that done, make your shopping list and make sure you order your turkey, because that is never a good time scrambling for a turkey last minute. But in my eyes, the most important part of planning, which I definitely did not do that first year, is a timeline. Yes, a timeline. Because let's be honest, Thanksgiving is just really like oven Tetris, and you need to plan when things are coming out and when things are going in. It's gonna make your day just go so smoothly and make you way less stressed. This next tip is definitely one that I struggle with the most because I am a type A personality, but that is to let other people help. And mainly because they want to. They want to help and contribute a piece to the feast, so why not let them piece to the feast? I'm a little rapper over here today. But your guests really do want to help, so let them. It's also gonna clear your plate off a little bit during the day and help you juggle a little bit less, and it's gonna help with your budget too. So hopefully you guys can hear me okay. It just started downpouring, you know, the joys of living in Florida, hurricanes and all. But we're gonna head right into the next tip, which is to prep some more and just prep everything you can. And I'm not just talking about food here. You wanna make sure you have all your decor and your table settings ready to go the day before, just so you're not running around trying to find that last piece. And if you need some Thanksgiving decor inspiration, go ahead and click the little button up above to see my latest video where I shared some. I also like to prep my outfit because my first Thanksgiving, I was baking pies all day, and then I looked at the clock and I had 5 minutes to get myself ready before everyone arrived. So I definitely like to have my outfit ready to go too. And then dishes. This is a big one for me that helps me out every year since I started doing it. So I get together all my dishes, lay them out on the food table, make sure everything fits nicely, and I decide which side item will go in which dish, because, you know, we need different proportions for each. And then I make sure I have a ladle for each of those, and on the day I'm not running around last minute trying to find a spoon to serve the mac and cheese with. Yes, it has happened. Oh, and one thing I like to do is if I'm planning on reheating 2 casseroles together, I'm gonna take those 2 dishes that I just planned to use for those casseroles, throw those babies in the oven, make sure they fit in there nicely together, because like I said, the Thanksgiving Tetris game is real. It's the hardest level ever. So go ahead and do that. You'll thank yourself later. So speaking of that Tetris game, once again, is a tip from my mother-in-law. This one is a real game changer, and that is to think outside the box and try and use things other than your oven. My mother-in-law has this big roasting oven that she brings over every year, and like I said, it's just a game changer. My turkey doesn't have to go anywhere near my oven, and I can use that solely for desserts or sides, and it's amazing. I did also just learn a new tip, and you can put your mashed potatoes in the crock pot to keep them warm. I mean, I'm mad at myself. I'm always juggling everything at the end, and mashed potatoes are definitely one of those things, so I'm gonna make it a little bit earlier and just put them on warm in my crock pot. But you do need to keep in mind if you like to put in sour cream or cream cheese, anything like that, which I definitely do. Probably too much of it, but it's Thanksgiving, you're allowed to. You just have to watch your time. Without those items, it can be in the crock pot for 4 hours. With those items, they say about like 30 minutes to an hour before it starts to separate. So my last big tip before we get into actually planning the day is to give yourself time to relax on Thanksgiving. I know that sounds crazy, but you need to do it. So we like to have our guests come over around 11:30, have a couple munchies, and just hang out, and then we eat the actual Thanksgiving dinner around 4 or 4:30, depending on the turkey's timing, because you know, that can fluctuate. So I try to put an hour or two in my timeline of just hanging out with the family. I think last year I labeled it wine time because that's what we did. We just sat around sipping on wine and looking through Black Friday ads, and it is my favorite time of the day. But even if your guests just come over right before dinner, schedule an hour or two in the morning or during the day that is you time, or give yourself extra time to get ready or to watch football if that's your thing. But you need that time to relax because it is no joke hosting. It is no joke. But I'm gonna head over to the dining room table and get our menu going. So I know that I'm having 8 guests this year, and I'm just going to lay out my menu in general, just the different dishes that I wanna have. And I know that I'm going to have a snack portion for the little munchies beforehand, and then our dinner, of course, is the big one. And then we have our desserts. Call me crazy, but stuff like this just helps me keep organized. So under the snack portion, we're going to have cheese and crackers. And then my cheese ball was a huge hit at the Halloween party. So I'm gonna make that as well to go with the crackers. If you guys want the recipe to that, that's in my Halloween treat video. And then Will's family always likes the cocktail shrimp. I'm not a fan of shrimp, but they have that every year as like a little starter. So, and I think that's all I'm gonna do for the snacks beforehand, just so we're not full for dinner. For dinner, of course, we have our turkey. I don't really need to even write that down, but I will. And then we have our sweet potato pie. And then green bean casserole. I always think about doing a different type of green beans every year, but green bean casserole is just a staple for Thanksgiving. And then mac and cheese. You can't go wrong with mac and cheese. And then mashed potatoes, cornbread for sure. Last year I found my favorite cornbread recipe, so doing that this year. And then what else? Gravy. Oh gosh, gravy. I mean, we have to have gravy with our turkey. And then last year, I think we had corn on the cob and salad, but with all these options, it just gets to be too much on your plate, and then people end up not eating everything. And I remember the salad like was not touched at all. So I think I'm gonna edit those things out this year. And if you feel like it, you could always ask your guests what they want on the table. Growing up, my mom would always ask us, other than turkey, what was 1 or 2 things you needed on the table to make it feel like Thanksgiving. And she made sure those things were always there, and then maybe delete some of the other things that we really didn't care for. So now on to desserts, and we are having pecan pie. I can't have Thanksgiving without pecan pie. And Will always eats it so fast. Oh my gosh. Honestly, might make 2. No. We're doing 1 because we're also having apple crisp. My mom makes a delicious apple crisp, and she's offered to make that this year. So we're doing that, and I believe she's making homemade whipped cream to go along with it. So it'll be so good. I'm excited. And then I'm gonna put pumpkin pie on the list because that is one of Will's must-haves. I've actually never made pumpkin pie from scratch. We've always gotten it from the store or someone else brings it. So I think I'm gonna give it a try this year, especially since it's something I can make the day before. It won't like make me extra stressed or anything. So pumpkin pie. I think that's our menu. So what I normally do now is, of course, check with everyone what they want to bring and everything, because remember tip number 2, let people help you. You'll thank yourself later. So I just like to get different highlighters. Yeah, I might be overboard, but I do different highlighters and kind of mark off what each person is bringing. So I'm gonna be pink. I'm just going to mark everything off here. And there we go. And then we have green. Green is going to be my mom, and she's bringing 2 things. And then Will's mom is also bringing 2 things. Perfect. So now I have my little color-coded menu here with who's bringing what. I'm gonna now get all my recipes together. I like to keep them on my phone, honestly, just so I can reference them in the store or at home on the day cooking. I can just reference them whenever I need it. So I already have them all saved here. I'm just gonna go through them and make my shopping list. All right, perfect. So we have our shopping list done, and I like to do that ahead of time just because you don't want to forget anything. And I just went through all my recipes here, so I know I won't. And I also like to have one master list. So if I do go to the grocery store and see something on sale, let's say this week, and let's just pick pecans for the pecan pie, that I can go to my master list, mark that off, and I don't have to worry about it, and I'm not double buying things on accident and wasting money and time and, you know. So now the super important part, our timeline. Okay, so first we're gonna make lists of everything I want to do prior to Thanksgiving. This one doesn't really need a timeline. This is just a list of things that I want to get done on Wednesday. So I want to do any cleaning that needs to be done. And that shouldn't be too much of a task because I will plan ahead for that when I do my weekly cleaning. And then I'm gonna make sure that the table is set, and if you have any last minute decor, make sure you get all that situated so you're not worried day of. I'm also going to figure out what outfit I'm gonna wear. I don't really need to lay it out or anything, but just in my mind, I know what I'm doing, so not freaking out last minute. I'm going to get all of my serving dishes and all of my serving spoons, ladles, whatever you need. I'm gonna get them out, I'm gonna get them on the food table, and I'm gonna do what I talked about earlier and just label each of them so I know I have exactly what I need. And if you don't, reach out to one of your guests and just say, do you have a 9x9 pan? I'm sure they'll be happy to help. Okay, so now on to food prep that I'm doing that day. I definitely wanna get the green bean casserole done. That guy can just hang out in the fridge and then you pop them in the oven, get them all heated up and nice, and then do his toppings last minute, and you'll be set to go. I used to prep all those green beans on Thanksgiving. Oh my gosh, that was crazy. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, and then the day before, I'm also going to make my pumpkin pie and my pecan pie because these are both going to be totally fine overnight. Okay, so my Wednesday list is done, and I just can't believe I used to try and do all that on Thanksgiving, but oh, I'm happy I don't anymore. Way less stress. But now I'm going to make my little timeline for Thanksgiving. I like to just make another little table here, and I'm going to start my cooking day at 9 a.m. I believe, because I normally put my turkey in around 9:30. I do just need to wait to get my turkey to figure out the timing. Just follow the label on the turkey. That's what I always do. Works like a charm. So I'm gonna guess 9 a.m. is when I want to prep my turkey. Then by 9:30, I should have my turkey in. I don't really need to do anything with it except baste it as the day goes on. But at 9:30, I'm going to make my cornbread and get that in the oven and get it done. I don't have to worry about it again. And then at 10 a.m., I'm gonna go ahead and cut up all of our potatoes for the mashed potatoes. If you cut them prior and put them in cold water and put them in the fridge, they're good for a couple hours. So I'm just gonna do that, and then when I'm ready to make them, I'll take it out, boil them up, you know the drill. I'm also going to make my cheese ball at this time, just so it's nice and fresh. And then at 11 a.m., I'm going to go ahead and get dressed because my guests will arrive at 11:30. Guests arrive. Probably about an hour later, so let's put 12:30. I'll get out all the little snacky foods. But this is the period of time I'm giving myself to relax and just hang out with family. This is what I told you guys are called wine time the past couple years. This year, let's think of a new name. Munch and chill. I don't know, we're munching on snacks and chilling, so that's what I'm putting this year. And because I've prepped the day before and I've allowed people to bring some dishes along, I really don't need to get cooking again until like 2 p.m. Seems late. So at 2 p.m., I'm gonna go ahead and start the mac and cheese, which I make homemade. Oh, it's so good. Gotten better at it over the years, that's for sure. And then at 2:30, my mac and cheese should be wrapping up, and I will put that in the oven. Normally I think it's in there at 400 degrees for 20 minutes, but what I'll do is just lower the temp down and put it in there for a longer period of time to let it get all ooey and gooey and delicious mac and cheese while I work on other things. I will get working on my mashed potatoes. Once those are done, I'm gonna put an arrow and say crock pot, because that new tip I just learned. Can't believe I didn't know it before. So mashed potatoes will go into the crock pot, and then I'll probably have a little extra time. I don't know how, but maybe not. Sometimes, you know, the hangout time with the wine, you just lose track of time. And then I'm pushed back 30 minutes, so I'll probably do that. Depending on how long the mashed potatoes and the mac and cheese took me, I might have a couple minutes to hang out with the guests and everything, but at 3:30, I'm going to put in our casseroles to reheat, and I'm just gonna make a little note so I don't forget. That is my green bean, and then the sweet potato. Getting those all nice and warm. And then at about 4 o'clock, our turkey will be done. Will always does the carving, he loves to do it. So we have the turkey being carved, and I will make the gravy and then get everything on the table, and it's time to eat at 4:30. Okay, so that wraps up the timeline. After that, we'll just eat, hang out. We normally like to go for a little walk to walk off our turkey, and then we have dessert and hang out for a little bit longer. But I feel like Thanksgiving is gonna be a good one this year. 2020 really needs a good holiday. I hope you guys enjoyed planning along with me and learned some fun new tips. If you are hosting this year, I'm sending you all the good luck I can give, and let me know in the comments below which tip was your favorite, or if you have one to add to, please let me know. We all need to help each other around here, and I will see you guys all next week. Bye.